Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. This episode may contain topics of murder, suicide, domestic violence, or sexual assault. Viewing discretion is advised.
In the icy wilderness of Alaska, there lurked a predator unlike any the state had ever known. A man who blended into the community with the quietness of fresh snow, yet harbored a darkness deeper than the winter nights that stretched for months. This is the story of Robert Hansen, the hunter who turned humans into prey. Before he became one of Alaska's most terrifying killers, Robert Christian Hansen began life seemingly unremarkable. Born in 1939 in Estherville, Iowa, Hansen was a shy, stuttering, acne-covered child who lived under the strict control of an authoritarian father. Kids at school bullied him relentlessly. He grew up rejected, angry, and isolated, dark feelings that festered over the years. But Hansen found one sanctuary: the wilderness. He was an exceptional hunter. Bow, rifle, it didn't matter. He was precise, patient, and disturbingly proud of the trophies he collected. Hansen entered adulthood quietly, but not peacefully. He had early run-ins with the law: arson, petty theft, hunting violations. Nothing that hinted at what he would later become, but enough to show a man who had no respect for authority. In 1967, he moved to Anchorage, Alaska, seeking a fresh start. And, on the surface, he found one. He became a local bakery owner, hence his later nickname, the Butcher Baker. People knew him as a soft-spoken, polite, slightly awkward man. He had a wife, children, a growing business. But under that calm exterior, he was beginning to hunt something other than wildlife. In the 1970s and early 80s, Anchorage was booming: oil money, nightlife, and a large population of runaways, exotic dancers, and sex workers drawn in by the city's new wealth. To predators, it was perfect. Hansen knew it. He targeted women whose disappearances would raise the fewest alarms. The pattern was always similar. He lured women with promises of money. He threatened them with firearms. He assaulted them. In many cases, he flew them in his small private plane into the remote wilderness. He released them, and then hunted them like animals through the forest. This is what made Hansen different from almost any serial killer in history. He didn't kill quickly. He wanted the chase. For over a decade, women disappeared. Law enforcement noticed the pattern, but they had little evidence and a transient population that made missing person reports unreliable. Bodies occasionally surfaced, sometimes years later, sometimes just scattered bones. Authorities suspected a serial killer, but they had no name. Hansen, meanwhile, blended in perfectly. He was a respected small business owner. He had a family. He had zero outward signs of violence. He even held local hunting records. He was the last person anyone would suspect. Everything changed on June 13, 1983, when a 17-year-old girl named Cindy Paulson escaped Hansen's clutches. Bound in chains, assaulted, and held at gunpoint, she managed to flee while Hansen was preparing his airplane for another hunting trip. Barefoot and terrified, she ran to safety. Police interviewed her. She gave a detailed description of Hansen, his house, his car, his demeanor. But Hansen denied everything. He seemed mild, harmless, meek. He even allowed officers into his home briefly, and everything looked normal. Authorities didn't have enough to arrest him. Not yet. Enter FBI profiler John Douglas, the man who coined terms like serial killer and helped catch monsters like the Unabomber. Douglas studied the case and said Hansen fit the profile perfectly. Disliked by women in youth. Skilled hunter. Low self-esteem masked by overachievement. Double-life personality. Douglas also predicted Hansen kept trophies, some physical record of his kills. Armed with this new psychological insight, police secured a warrant for a full search of Hansen's home and property. What they found was chilling: a hidden cache of guns, many matching bullets from known crime scenes, jewelry belonging to missing women, and worst of all, a hand-drawn map marking 20-plus locations across the Alaskan wilderness. These were graves. Hansen broke under the weight of evidence. He confessed to murdering at least 17 women, though experts believe the true count is far higher. In 1984, Robert Hansen received a 461-year sentence, with no possibility of parole. He spent decades in prison, largely forgotten by the outside world. He died in 2014 at the age of 75. But the legacy he left behind remains one of the darkest stories in American crime. A seemingly gentle shopkeeper living a secret life as a predator who used the Alaskan wilderness as his hunting grounds. What makes the story of Robert Hansen so disturbing isn't just the violence. It's the deception. The man who sold pastries by day, then stalked human prey by night. A reminder that sometimes the most dangerous monsters aren't the ones lurking in the shadows, but the ones standing right beside us. The story of Robert Hansen is a stark reminder that monsters do not always lurk in the shadows. They often move quietly among us. His crimes, hidden beneath the routine of small-town life, exposed the devastating consequences of unchecked violence and the vulnerability of those society too often overlooks. But the courage of his surviving victims, the persistence of investigators, and the hard-won breakthroughs in forensic profiling ensured that Hansen's reign of terror finally came to an end. Today, their voices and their strength remain the most important part of this story. As we close this chapter, we remember not the man who inflicted so much harm, but the resilience of those who fought to escape, to survive, and to be heard. Their legacy is a call to vigilance, compassion, and justice, so that crimes like these are never allowed to hide in silence again. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, stay safe and watch your back, because you never know who you are standing next to. This is True Crime Dad signing off.